What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we're asking the question: can South Africans be united as one nation? Is it possible? Can we do it? Or is there no hope? Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, hate speech is always welcome. Hello. People, today's topic is a very heartbreaking topic because for centuries, for decades rather, for decades, this age old question is still not being answered. And it would be a fantasy to think that each and every one of us could all be on the same page, or at least tolerate and accept the differences and totally be in unison with our differences without having violent clashes or having derogatory terms and conditions spewed onto other people, right? It's okay to be different. It's okay to be on the other side. It's okay to not agree on anything. It's okay to be on opposing sides. It's one thing to be in opposition of each other, but it's another thing to be intolerable of each other, right? So, unity in South Africa, is it possible or is it a dream? A pipe dream at that? You see, I've always thought about thinking how we could bridge the racial divide. That's not going to be an easy thing because for some, it's inherently entrenched in their culture, in their way of thinking. It's something that they are taught, it's something that they believe in, and it's something that they will not relinquish at any time. So, why are we at a point where we become more divisive than united? What's the cause? So, to answer this question, I think we'll have to look at it from race by race. That's the only possible solution or possible source for a possible solution. So let us start with the black people, right, of South Africa, the black people of South Africa. Black people in South Africa, first and foremost, need to unite before we can talk about unity with any other race group, right? So the black people, being the majority, they need to unite first, right? So black South Africans need to overcome this thing of tribalism. I think that's the core issue of why black people never get along. I mean, like for the longest times, we all know that Pedis, Tsongas, Vendas, Shanganis, Ndebeles, I think, the small minorities up north there, they're not seen as South Africans because largely because of the dark, very dark skin color or pigmentation. And it's said that it's other black people that are doing that to fellow black South Africans. Now, if black South Africans cannot accept other black South Africans for the mere fact that those ones look foreign, so therefore they are foreign, that in itself is hatred, racism. Well, we can't call it racism because you have the same race, but it would then fall under what? Like the caste system, then it's classism because then it's a caste system because It's like in India where the light Indians look down upon the dark Indians. So in this case, it's the lighter skinned South African, black South Africans that are looking down upon the darker skinned South African blacks. Don't make sense, right? That's the one side. Then we have the Zulus versus the Xhosas. That's just now outright tribalism. It's got nothing to do with complexion and heritage or anything. It's just a simple fact of tribalism and nothing else. See, we need to overcome that. So in the black community, we have at the core, those are the two fundamental issues that they need to solve, right? I think if the black community can actually overcome these two prejudices, then the black community could unite and become one. They may not agree on everything, but at least getting past these two fundamental issues would be a great stepping stone in the right direction. Right? So let's park that to the side. That's on the black people. Then we come to the colored people. Colored people are divided mainly on race. Right? Colored people, yeah, with the colored people, it's so complex. It's it's dire straits. In the colored community, you get those that see themselves as whites, or at least aligning themselves with white. And then you get those that align themselves with the Khoisan and the coloredness and the colored view. And then you get those that align themselves with the black people. Now, how do you tell a colored person who only votes white, who only talks about the white side of the family, who only sees things in the way white people see things, right? How do you get that person to sit down and talk to someone who only understands that the Khoi is this is their land? They only see things in the eyes of the Khoi and the sand and everything that is South African, that we are from the earth and this is that, and that's the only thing they know is that we are colored and this is our land and that is that. How do you get a third color to sit in there who only sees things from a black and united point of view to say, okay, you see things as white, you see things as colored and Khoi and sand, and I see things from a black perspective. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the colored community is so diverse and colored, and the colored group, the colored population in Southern Africa, by the way, if you didn't know, I said Southern Africa. I didn't say South Africa. The colored people of Southern Africa. And yes, people, there are colored people in Namibia, which you all know because at one point South Africa and Namibia like one country. Colored people in Botswana, colored people in Swaziland, there's colored people in Lesotho, there's colored people in Zimbabwe, and there's colored people in Mozambique, there's colored people in Malawi, there's colored people in Angola, there's colored people in DRC. Yeah, did I leave out a country? Colored people in Zambia. Yeah, that's about Southern Africa, right? And there's colored people in Eswatini. So that makes up the bulk of Southern Africa, right? Yeah, Malawi there. Okay, cool. So how do we get these three people to sit down? And then racism is a very big issue also in the colored community because we get those that do not want to entertain anything that to do with black people. And then we get those that do not want to entertain anything to do with white people. See what I mean? So from the colored perspective, if we can get over those two issues, I think the colored community could unite. Because if you really look at it, the colored people don't even have a colored party. I mean, just that in itself tells you what the colored people think of themselves, because of the millions of colors that there are in South Africa, right? There's just no party for colored people that the colored people can actually embrace and say, this party is fully representative of us, because the colored community is so divided. I think I think Gayton McKenzie tried that, right? When he set up his Patriotic Alliance, he tried to make it a colored only or a colored mainly party. And then he realized a few months in that, no, it's not going to work, because the numbers, people are not buying into this, or it's just not working out. You know what I mean? So he changed it from colored party to a colorful party. But he did start off as wanting to create it because he saw the gap in the market that there's no parties representing colored people. Now, of course, we do have the NCC, but it's it's not near anywhere as as strong as it might grow into something, but you need to get more like-minded people on board to fight for the colored people. You know what I mean? And that it's just not possible. I can't. Yes, there's colored neighborhoods. Yes, there's colored issues. Yes, there's colored neglect. Yes, there's colored what's the word? Social ills and stuff, right? And the colored people feel neglected by the white government because the coloreds feel that they are too black for the white people to represent them and their issues. And then they feel neglected by the black government because they feel they're too white to be represented by the black government, right? So that's the colored issue. So if the colored people can overcome these two things, right? I think the colored people would be stepping into the right direction if they can if they can overcome these challenges. So we park that. Then we move up to the Indian people. The Indian population in South Africa, I really feel like the Indian population in South Africa carried. I don't know much about the Indian population and the Indian problems in South Africa, right? But the little research that I did, it's more of a it's more of a continuation of India's problems that were just carried over to South Africa, all right? So not much is written about the Indian problems in South Africa. Like there's no religious flare ups, and there's no uh, I mean, if there is, it's not reported. Like, I mean, I'm going on online and I'm trying to check and read, and there's nothing of Muslim Indians and Hindu Indians going at it religiously in Durban, and they're fighting and burning more, like what happens in India, like, But they have that, they have the differences of religion and maybe language and maybe class systems, maybe that, maybe the light skinned Indians look down upon the dark skinned Indians, maybe there is maybe that, but also they need to overcome that. You know what I mean? They also need to get over that. You know what I mean? So, the religious aspect, the class aspect, they need to get over that. And I would think that from from what I see, right, I would think that the Indians, as divided as they are, right, because not much, not much is written about them anyway. I mean, I went online trying to check, and I don't see much about it. So, as much as the Indians in Durban are, or in KwaZulu Natal, right? As much as the Indians in KwaZulu Natal, mainly because they stay in and around Durban, so we can't just say Durban alone. So let's just say KwaZulu Natal because they're on the outskirts of Durban, right? as much as they are divided on their own personal issues, right? Those issues don't seem to be as mega, right, as the tribalism that we see, as the colored vote, the racial vote in Cape Town that we see among the colored people. I mean, you can't say the Durban people, the Durban Indians are so divided that it causes national headlines. I don't know. If there is, really, I've checked online, I haven't seen them. Maybe I'm not checking in the right places. For those who know about the big blowouts among the Indians in Durban or KwaZulu Natal, please let me know in the comment section below, because I've checked and the only thing I've seen is that there's majority Hindus and 25% are Muslim, and then there's Sikhs, there's Buddhists as well. So I'm thinking the only big issues that are in and around Durban are either class issues or religious issues. I don't think there's physical harming of these clashes. I haven't seen, I haven't heard of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we park the Indians there. If they can overcome those things, then obviously the Indians united as one, right? We park them one side. Then we come to the white people of South Africa. The white people of South Africa are divided on, they're divided on mainly three lines, right? So we get the British whites, right? And then we get the Afrikaners, predominantly Dutch. They don't normally see eye to eye, although we must say things have drastically improved over the years, even though the Afrikaners will not forget that the British almost drove the Afrikaner people to extinction when they killed over 30,000 Afrikaner people in battle. That will not be forgotten. Okay. The white people of South Africa, I say, are divided on three lines, right? So we get the British whites, we get the Afrikaners. I don't know if those two groups will ever come together. I don't know. Then within the Afrikaner race or people, they are divided on those that want to still remain in the old South Africa and those that want to merge with the new South Africa. Now, do you see where the problem is now? So within the white population of South Africa, I think the Afrikaner people first need to unite before they can merge with the British and the Portuguese and the French and the Israelis and the what. So the first major sticking point is going to be the Afrikaner people. Those that are divided on wanting an Afrikaner only state and those that want an inclusive South Africa for everybody. They need to first come together. If they come together as one, fight on a united front for the right way for the Afrikaans people to thrive and to survive and to move in unison, they need to overcome that problem, right? Their second issue would be then become whether or not they want to unite with the British whites, because no one really speaks about the British whites, and yet there are British whites in South Africa. A lot of them are there, you know, and no one speaks about them. Everybody just speaks about the Afrikaners, the Afrikaners, the Afrikaners, and yet there are British whites here too. There's also French, number of French. There's also Portuguese whites as well. You know what I mean? But everyone just focuses on the Afrikaner people. So when we speak about white people in South Africa, we only mainly refer to the Afrikaner people, forgetting that there's the British people, the French people, the Portuguese people. Where do we put them? You see what I mean? So when we speak racist white people, we're always aiming at Afrikaner people. When we speak anything white pertaining to problems, whatever, it's always aimed at the Afrikaner people. Is it because they're the majority in the white population? Is it because they are the most dominant? Is it because they are the most vocal? Is it because they are the most hateful? We never know, right? We'll never know. So those are the fundamental underlying issues that South Africa's different race groups need to overcome before before we can actually start talking about unity in South Africa. So before we can talk about unity with other race groups, we first need to overcome our own social issues within our own communities, within our own race groups. Then we can talk about unity with other race groups. Does that make sense? Or am I not making sense? Next, we get into the pros of a united South Africa. Man, there is a lot of pros. It's unfathomable. Holler! People, the pros of a united South Africa. Now, picture this. We have a population of about 66 million people. Can you imagine if South Africans of all race groups could be united? Can you imagine the strength in numbers, right? Can you imagine the skills transfer? Can you imagine the um, the combating of crimes? Can you imagine just the sheer number of people willing to move in one direction to fight a common cause and how quickly that common cause would be solved because we are all on board with the same ideologies? People, do you know, like when they always say there's strength in numbers and unity, what's a united we grow and divided we fall? United we stand, divided we fall? I know it seems like a pipe dream for now, and it probably always will look like a pipe dream. If the majority of the people in each race group could come on board as a united front with other race groups, right? Or at least if the majority in each race group can come together, right? In each race group, right? So each race group, the majority come together first in each group, and those people decide that they're going to form a political party, a business organization, like a partnership. What do they call these? Like a conglomerate, like uh, there's a word that they use in business. Not a conglomerate, but they use a okay, I'll think of that word later. If these people could form, like if we could just form a political party, for example, if we could form a civil organization, for example, if we could form a business entity, for example, that goes in and serves the purpose or serves the people as a whole, do you see the benefits that can come from working together other than working against each other? Do you see that if we grow as a united people, not as a divided people, do you see how the ripple effect will come about because it all started with us, which then spills over into other areas and other sectors, which then ultimately benefits the economy and the country as a whole, all because we chose to be united. Do you see what I'm talking about? There's a lot of things that black people and colored people can learn from Indian people and white people. There's a lot of things on the business front, on the education front, on the entrepreneurial front. So even on the political front, I mean, people in India still have relatives in Durban and vice versa, and those people go up and down, and they learning and they see and they bringing those skills back to Durban. Same like the white people, they're learning from their other white counterparts that actually help them out. They get in the knowledge, the skills transfer. Like, for example, apartheid South Africa had nuclear weapons that they developed with their counterparts in Israel. Understand what I'm saying? What are the colors in what are the colors in South Africa teaching the colors in Botswana? It's sweet. Do you know? Because I don't know. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I don't know if there's any colored skills transfer from South Africa to Eswatini, to Lesotho, to Zambia, to Angola, to Mozambique. Do you know? To the college in Malawi. Do you know if there's any skills transfer? No. What are the black people doing for skills transfer to the other neighboring black countries on the continent? Do you know of any? Because I don't. If you do know of any, please let me know. That would be a great plus. Next, we get into the negatives, the cons of a united people. Holla. People. The cons of a united people. There are no cons. Because, like the saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall. If all South Africans, or at least if the majority of South Africans, could unite on just the fundamental issues plaguing the country, I promise you, South Africa will be further ahead in what it is now. I know South Africa used to be further ahead than where it is now. But due to differences, due to infighting, due to tribalism, due to racism, due to policy decisions, due to laws, and due to people, there is just no going forward if all these challenges remain in place. For one, we all need to be united. This is just a fundamental example. We all need to be united in recognizing that the laws that are in place today, the systems that are in place today, are there to maintain the status quo of the old South Africa. The current state of laws are repressive for non-white people. As a black person, as a colored person, the laws in South Africa are so unjust. You need money, you need wealth, you need a source of this, you need so many things that you were deprived of. And those laws are still there today. So if we can all come together and agree that the majority of the laws need to change, they, the ease of doing business. There's so much red tape when doing business, and if you do not have the money to back up the red, to back up your idea and to get past the hurdles that require um what's this thing called? They need not collateral. They need collateral. They need this. They people. How do you get collateral as a disadvantaged person, as a dispossessed person? You used to. How do you get collateral? I mean, what do you used to put up as collateral? You can't go to a bank for a business loan. They're gonna tell you no because we don't know if your business is gonna survive or not. Dude, I need to go sell 10 magwinas over there, right? I need 200 rand. I just need 200 rand to go and start a magwinya business. Now, I can't get that 200 rand from friends, family, because they too are broke just like me. We're all here in the township and we're all circling. So it's like, okay, let me go to a white area, do some gardening, get whatever I can get, 100 rand, 150, maybe 200 rand a day. Like that, then I can. You understand what I'm saying? You see the hurdle you need to go through just to get a 200 rand. There's a bank in your area, and the bank will tell you what do you have collateral to give for 200 rand. No, you don't have anything. Okay, go to a pawn shop, right? Go and hand in your stove for that 200 rand so that you can start your Magunya business. Okay, cool. I will do a hand in my stove. What do I cook on for the next 2 or 3 days until I get that money back? Whatever the case may be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's these challenges, they seem so small and minute to other people. Someone will tell you that you're lazy, but sometimes if you look into the realities of life, there are people that go to bed hungry every night in South Africa. They only get to eat when they get out of their house because at least then they can eat when they're at school. Someone will give them a slice of bread, maybe the teacher will bring them soup or something like that. Those are the small issues I'm talking about. And what's preventing them from getting this? It's the repressive law. There's just no place that you can go and say, okay, look, here's my stupid business idea. I just need a 500 rand, get a laptop, and I just need to connect to a public Wi-Fi so I can start doing it. Just to get a laptop, it's an issue. You got you, those small basic things, and it's those things that can also overcome the unemployment issue. So, see what I'm saying? We need to look at that too. But yeah, people, it looks like I went off on a tangent there, right? It's like I'm going off on a tangent lately now. So yeah. Let me know what you people think about this topic. Was I on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, hate speech is always welcome. Holla.